You know, growing up, I've always loved the horror, like, scenery. I've always loved horror movies or horror games. So naturally, I played a lot of them. And let me tell you something. Half of these games are ass. So when I got this game, I wasn't expecting much, right? The Chant. But I gave this one a chance. And I'm glad I did. Anyways, welcome to how I 100%ed the Chant and got all 42 achievements. To start off, you play as this girl named Jess, who, haunted by her sister's death, she decides to go to a retreat with her friend named Kim. Kim is part of a group of people on the island that can help Jess relax her mind. On the island, there are 4 other characters. The first one is Hannah, the second one is Sunny, the third one is Maya, and the last guy is Tyler. This guy's kind of an asshole. When you reach the island, you're introduced to the new crafting system in this game. It's pretty straightforward. You just pick up leaves and twines on the ground and you could craft weapons with it. This leads me to my first achievement, the first of many. Hey. Another thing to mention is the 3 different stats in the game that you have. The first is the mind, which is almost like your sanity in other games. If you lose it, you can start to panic and die if you're not careful. The second is the body, which is the game's way of just calling like a health bar. Finally, this is the spirit, which you can be used for your abilities. You can also upgrade these 3 stats in the upgrade tab, and this makes them stronger and other stuff. Anyways, these 3 stats will be important to the achievements later on. I just felt like mentioning it right now. So we also get another achievement for talking with Maya over here. Jump to us talking with Kim. She gives you a new fit and your very own prism. This prism will be important to the story later, but right now all you really have to know is that you could use abilities with your spirit bar that I mentioned before. And this scene ends with us receiving the 3rd achievement. During this cutscene, the group decides to do a small prayer together. Obviously, this isn't a prayer and something is wrong. So Kim goes apeshit on us and she runs off into the distance. We decide to chase her, but I don't know, to be honest, I would have just blown up the whole island at this point. So we decide to chase her until we reach this area. This is the Gloom. It acts as a barrier and we can only enter it according to the prism color we have. Inside the Gloom, there's a bunch of otherworldly monsters and creatures trying to kill us, and these I will show like later on in the video. Once I escaped the Gloom, I met up with Tyler, and this is where I get the 4th achievement of the game. After a bit of walking, we see our first enemy. This is one of the Gloom monsters, the Manticore. This thing is one of 15 that we will have to kill for an achievement. When we finally find Kim, she looks all kinds of fucked up.
No, I'm not okay. Kim, what's happening?
So I pull a Kevin Porter Jr. and I bash her face into a mirror. Cause domestic violence is super fun. Remember that, kids. After that, we head back to the village and we find Hannah and Tyler and we get our 5th achievement. But Tyler's bitch ass gets mad at us for defending ourselves from a possessed Kim. Then Hannah tells us that since Kim broke the ritual, we need all 6 prisms in order to fix what they started. So quick side note, every character I mentioned before has a prism. So this should be easy, right? We already have 3 of them and all we need is Tyler, Maya's, and Sunny's. Speaking of Sunny, let's go check up on him. Boy oh boy, here's my man tweaking. He basically said that the prism is his and he's gonna use it for power and all that bullshit. And he runs off into the mines. So obviously we follow him and he traps us there in the mine. While I was here, I managed to get another achievement totally by accident. The achievement was to make a monster kill another monster, and in this case the frog exploded and killed his friend. After this, we successfully escaped the mine. And that was a good time to introduce the 2nd type of monster. These guys are the cultists. They're basically humans who have gone crazy, and there's 4 types of them. The first one we encounter is this ram guy. The second is this dog cultist because he's always crawling everywhere and shit. And the third is this big ass fucking Mike Tyson dude. And finally there's the witch who could fly. Anyways, we keep chasing Sunny until this happens. I mean, at least he threw his prism to us. Following this event, I get another achievement for throwing 20 throwables at some bugs. While progressing the mines, I see Sunny caught up in webs begging to be saved, so I beat the shit out of a monster who's holding him hostage. But sadly, this is the end of Sunny's story as he dies and gets penetrated right in front of us. After killing Sunny, I start heading back to the village and I get my 8th and 9th achievement for using 30 healing items and completing chapter 3. Our next mission is to go with Maya to fix the lighthouse so that we can be seen by boats and escape this island. As we're walking, the Gloom speaks with Maya in the form of her dead son. So obviously she's taken by surprise and she goes into the Gloom without knowing what could happen to her. She manages to escape its presence without being hurt, and she continues her way to the lighthouse with us. We get there safely and we use the prism to power the beam in the lighthouse. After a bit of trolling, she hits us with this.
What do you mean you're gonna get him back?
Nothing. Let's just try and stay focused on the ritual.
So yeah, with how things went with Sunny, you can kind of know and sense something is wrong and where this is about to go. Whatever, we brush it off and continue our mission. Also, we get our 10th achievement, which was to kill 35 Gloom monsters. After this, we return to Maya and she has officially gone nuts. She has the same infection thing that Sunny had, which means that the Gloom got her and we gotta kill her. And just like that, our second closest friend has died. We take her prism and return to Hannah for like the 20th time and get our 11th achievement for completing chapter 4. We decide enough is enough and plan a small heist to go steal the prism from Tyler's house. But Tyler, being the loser he is, he's hiding in a big ass fucking Fortnite bubble shield house to protect himself. We still find the prism though, and Hannah brings us to the old secret village that only her and Tyler knew about. In this village, there's an ancient mask that was used by the cult decades ago to destroy the Gloom and save the island. So obviously we try to go for that and save the island as well. We get to the old village and there's a small puzzle segment where you gotta mix flowers to make a chemical and then put the chemical in the flowers and all that shit, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is that this will be important to the achievements later on, so just take a note of it. We continue our way through this old village and we get to this other puzzle. It's basically pick your poison. Some of the wood panels can break and others can't. Since I get it on my first try, I get an achievement for this. Talking about achievements, in this area I managed to get 3 different achievements. The first one was to defeat 40 cultists, which was pretty easy as there were many throughout the whole story and game. The second was to kill all 15 mandicores, which was the thing that I showed at the beginning of the video. And the third was to use my prism abilities 30 times. We finally get to the mask, but it's placed on someone's head. And surprise surprise, this guy isn't dead. Now there's a lot of lore to who this guy is and what he's all about, but honestly, I'll just keep it short. He is basically the grandfather of Tyler and he has been stuck in time for almost 30 years now. Boom, that's a mindfuck right there. Yeah, I was pretty shocked myself, but whatever. Anyways, we beat his ass and fucking Tyler dude just spawns literally out of nowhere and he tries to take the mask, but he gets his soul sucked by his own grandpa. Like, I'm not even kidding, bro. That shit was gay as hell, but look at this shit, bro. He just dies. So now the grandpa with his new soul sucking abilities wants to fight us again. So we do, and he just disappears when he dies. He just vanishes. I guess we'll just have to presume that he died. So Hannah takes the mask and she says she knows how to use it to save Kim. I don't know where she learned it, but we roll with it. And I also get my 15th achievement, which was to complete chapter 5. So Hannah does her shit and she saves Kim. Yeah, that's a W, right? Hannah's always been super nice to us this whole game. You know, surely she wouldn't just like bitch slap us in the face, right?
Hannah, yo.
Well, gosh darn. I'll just show you the dialogue why she did that real quick.
My whole life, nobody ever cared about me. They do. Instead of trying to stop it, we can all be together.
Hannah, it's the Gloom. You can't bring them back. Don't do it, Hannah, yo.
So yeah, it's sad to see Hannah betray us, and it's even sadder to see her die, man. This one was an unfortunate ending for a good character. Oh yeah, this is the final boss, by the way. What the fuck is that? It's probably what you guys are thinking about right now, and I was too. This boss was low-key kinda, it was a bit weird, I'm not gonna lie, but the concept was interesting. You're basically fighting like the heads of everyone in the game, and they could use their abilities back on you, and it was a nice ending to the game, but it was a little bit too easy. We killed the boss and Jess does this cringy ass yell, bro. Like, look at this shit. We got our final achievement for this run, which was to complete the game with the mind as our highest stat. I just want to say I forgot to show this achievement, but this is our 18th achievement. I was supposed to show in the beginning of the video. I forgot. You might be thinking, How the fuck do we only have 18 achievements when we just finished the game? Well, that's because I was hiding some till the end. I hid them because they were mostly random achievements with no meaning. The first set of achievements were what I call the lore achievements. All of these were to just pick up like X amount of lore during the game. Here's some examples in the gameplay. And the lore section has 4 achievements, including the one which was to collect all the lore in the game. So that's 4 achievements that I did throughout my first playthrough of the game. Also, while getting the last piece of lore, I got another achievement for killing the secret frog mini boss. So yeah, that was pretty easy. On top of the lore pickups, there were also reels that we had to pick up. These provided like backstory to the monsters and to the characters, but I don't feel like showing them because fuck that. Finally, to wrap up all these shit achievements, I get 2 others for opening 15 cabinets and crafting 30 items. So now we're at a grand total of 26 achievements. So now we get to this section, the 8 DLC achievements, and I'm gonna be honest. This DLC was terrible. This shit was not fucking fun. It served more as a walker simulator type of game where you just kill monsters and walk around and shit. There wasn't really a good story surrounding it, so it felt pretty bland. I'll still show you the achievements though, because that's the point of this video, right? But to sum up what happens, it turns out that Grandpa wasn't really dead. Right? Remember we saw he just disappeared? Well, he's not fucking dead. And he brought me and Kim into another Gloom type of world. And from here we have to recharge the 6 prisms that we already got. And we have to kill another boss and escape this world. So that's literally it. Like there wasn't any more dialogue or story. Pretty lazy to explain all these achievements. But you guys have eyes. You guys could just read on the screen. The one thing here though is that I forgot to record one of the achievements, which was to kill 2 or more enemies with an explosion. So I'm sorry about that. And there you go. That's all 8 DLC achievements. And wait, hold on. Did they just hold hands? After those 8 achievements, we are now at the beginning of the end. At this point, I was only missing 8 achievements. One of them was to upgrade a skill tree completely, so I did that easily during my second playthrough. And the other one was to complete the plant puzzle without messing up.
How did Kim get involved in all of this?
The remaining 5 achievements are the ones that are more complex. They all require you to redo the main story, like this one where you have to speedrun the game, or this one where you have to play on the hardest difficulty. So I figured out that I can do all 5 achievements in 2 separate runs. The first run that I did, I decided to go for the hardest difficulty achievement, which to my surprise wasn't actually that hard. I don't know if I just got good at the game or it was just a bit too easy. One thing I did notice though is that there were way more monsters and I had to pick my fights accordingly so that I could save my weapons and my materials for a boss. I also beat the game with the body as my highest stat to get that achievement, and somehow I managed to get the speedrun achievement. To be honest, I wasn't going for this, but it was good to get it off the checklist. Now, for my final run. At this moment, I was only missing 2 achievements. The first one was to complete the game with the spirit as the highest stat, easy. The second one was to complete the story without killing any cultists. So, I already knew from the start this one was going to be a bit challenging. But since I'm good at these random indie games, this was no problem for me. So, throughout this run, it wasn't that hard to be honest as I thought, because I learned how to dodge their attacks pretty easily and I just avoided them every time I could. And skip to the end with the final hit to the boss. There it was. The last achievement of the game.
There it is.
With all that hard work, I get all achievements to the game. And yeah, it was a good accomplishment. Side note, not to flex on anyone, but I finished this last run in 1 hour 48 minutes, which brings me in 10th place in the speedrunning category for this game. So yeah, suck on that. Anyways, before the video ends, I just want to say I actually really enjoyed this game. The visuals were very nice, the story was incredible, although it was kind of short, like it only took me like 14 hours to fully complete it. It was still a fun experience. Editing this was also really fun. It was like the first video I actually made a script for, and the whole time I was having fun with it. And I might do shit like this more, maybe, see how it goes. Anyways, for those of you who made it this far, I'd just like to thank you for staying, and enjoy the rest of your day.